Good day and welcome back to Coach Greg. In today's video, we are going to be looking at wrist position drills for the normal stock delivery for a seam bowler. The first drill we are going to look at, you're going to take the band, tie it to a pole, and get a friend to hold it behind you. You're going to put the band between your two fingers to sort of get used to that strength with the fingers nice and upright and pull in against the band. From there, you're going to use your wrist to pull the band forward. This is showing how the wrist moves forward behind the ball and trying to imagine that you're keeping the ball in your hand with your fingers long on the ball. If you want to replicate it a bit more, you can wrap the band around your fingers and put a cricket ball in your hand. It's also important that the fingers move forward with the wrist to make sure that that line and the wrist stays behind the ball. This is going to help us hold the ball a bit quicker and make sure that we keep that seam upright for long periods of time, which will help us with swing and seam. For the next drill, we are going to be holding the cricket ball in our hand and we're just going to be flicking it up in front of us, trying to get the seam to rotate nice and backwards and in one line for as long as possible, making sure that the wrist stays behind the ball and keeps it working there. This is to make sure that the wrist is working on the ball and trying to imagine that the fingers are staying on the ball for as long as possible. Thereafter, you're going to throw it to either your coach or a friend, keeping your fingers pointing towards where you're throwing the ball and trying to pull back on the ball as much as possible to give it those backward revolutions, which is going to help with swing in the air. Trying to keep that seam upright and towards your friend for as long as possible. Keep doing this until you can keep the seam as stable as possible. For the last drill, we're going to hold the ball in our hand again. We're going to make sure that the opposite hand to our bowling hand is on our elbow to make sure that the only movement is from the forearm and the wrist. We're going to be throwing overarms to our friend or the coach, making sure we're putting down on the ball as well. This is to replicate the hand from the top of the action and trying to keep that seam nice and upright. Keep putting down towards the target that you're bowling to make sure that the wrist stays behind the ball and the fingers stay on the ball as long as possible. This is going to help us keep the pace behind the ball because we've got a full wrist behind it and no energy is being moved to the side, and it's going to keep the seam upright for swing and seam. Thereafter, we are going to start with the ball in our hand with our arm already at the top of the vertical, and we're just going to pull down and through to the end of the bowling action, trying to get the seam to come out, bounce it off the pitch and see if it moves from there. Trying to keep your fingers on the ball as long as possible to keep that seam rotating backwards and making sure that we get it out of the hand going nice and forward. This is going to teach us how to get the ball going forward out of the hand while still pulling back on the ball to get those motions right. Thank you for watching this video. We hope that you enjoyed. Please remember to leave a like below, subscribe and hit that bell notification so you get the information as it releases. Also leave a comment on what you found useful and anything that you'd like to see in the future.